Hello everyone, my name is Jason and I am an ISFP. You are watching my ISFP journey. Thank you so much for watching. I do ask that you would please subscribe to my channel. And I also ask that if at the end of this video you found it to be helpful, useful, entertaining, that you would give it a thumbs up, give it a like, click the little like button, click the subscribe button, and share my YouTube channel with your friends if you would be so kind. That would be awesome. Thank you in advance for doing that, and thank you for watching this video. Let's talk about INTPs. This video is going to be about why I appreciate the INTP. Now, when I'm doing these videos about the things that I consider to be big positives about the other types, I want you to know these videos are not meant to be deep dives into the other types. They're not meant to be a breakdown of the other type, all of their cognitive functions. I'm not looking at all the goods and all the bads, nothing like that, okay? This is meant to merely be my take on why I have positive thoughts in general about another type. So in this case, it's the INTP. And I have an INTP daughter who's 19 years old, and I used to work with an INTP, and he was, I think he was probably around 30 years old or so. I worked with him for a couple of years off and on. And I probably have other INTPs in my life that I know and just don't realize they're INTPs. But I have concluded that there are some things about INTPs that I really appreciate. So the first thing that I want to say about INTPs that I really appreciate is that I think in my experience, I would say that they are people that you can go to get honest information, honest analysis of your thought processes or, you know, what you're dealing with or what's going through your mind without too much crazy bias, okay? They're more apt to just look at things from a more analytical standpoint and just give you their opinion. Now, as ISFPs, I know that and I think ISFPs in general, can be sort of people who beat around the bush, who go like out of our way to try to find the nicest way to say something. And I think that's a good quality of an ISFP, but it can be a little exhausting at times, to be honest with you. So the great thing about INTPs is because they're more apt to just give you the info you need, sort of divorced from any, you know, emotion, opinion, anything like that. I mean, okay, there might be opinion in it, but it's not like emotional opinion. It's not like crazy carried away opinion. It's not, it's only opinion because they've really thought about it and come to a logical conclusion. But because they're like that, I think that we can be like that with them. Right? I mean, I don't think that we have to work so hard at trying to walk on eggshells around INTPs. I think we can say, you know, what we think, what needs to be said in order to accomplish something. And generally speaking, an INTP, I think, is going to be able to receive that pretty well, as long as we're not like intentionally being harsh with them. I mean, I think anybody, if you're intentionally rude or harsh or mean, is gonna not like that. But with an INTP, I think you can kind of say what needs to be said to get something done, and you can trust them to say what needs to be said to help you. So if you have a problem and you need some real advice, you need somebody to really look at what you're thinking, look at your thought process, or look at what you're doing and give you an honest take on it, I think that the INTP is a good person to have in your life for that. The other thing, another thing that I value highly in INTPs, and I think this might be an area where INTPs might be, if you're just going by stereotypes or if they're stereotyped poorly, you might hear something different than what I'm about to say. But in my experience, INTPs really want to help. They really like helping people. They really like doing nice things for people. So like my INTP daughter, she really likes to cook. So right now, my wife is actually out of town. My wife normally cooks. I'm not a very good cook. Like if the box says put it in the microwave for this long, I can nail that. But pretty much anything beyond that, it's outside of my expertise. And so my wife cooks most of our meals. But she's out of town right now. And so my 19-year-old INTP daughter is making our meals, and she's a phenomenal cook, and she really enjoys it. Like, there's nothing about her that is doing this begrudgingly. She enjoys doing nice things for people. And the INTP that I worked with, he was just a really amiable guy that just, he liked to just, be nice, and he liked to help. If I needed advice, if I needed help, if he was he was a manager, and so if there was something about my job that I really didn't know how to do it correctly, some other managers would be more quick to be frustrated that they needed to help, or they might speak sometimes out of aggravation or frustration, but he was never like that. He was always just, yeah, okay, cool, I want to help. And I could tell that he found a measure of meaning and joy in being helpful. And I think that there is a big part of that in INTPs. And I can't help but think that that's actually their extroverted feeling, which I know is their inferior function, but that's where I think that we need to not sell INTPs short. And we need to appreciate the fact that they really do find joy, I think, in being helpful and doing nice things for other people and putting a smile on someone else's face. I think that's really nice. I think that another thing that I appreciate about INTPs is that they're really, I think that they're able to take in a lot of information without allowing too many preconceived notions from tainting their ability to look at information in a kind of a sterile way. And that's a good thing. I don't say that bad at all, because I think that for many of us, if we have invested ourselves in an idea, it's hard for us to take in new information that might cause us to question the idea that we have previously invested ourselves in. And I think INTPs are so hungry for knowledge. They're so wanting to take in as much as they can and fit it into sort of almost like a logical puzzle, like putting together a puzzle that I don't think that they're really afraid of what the next piece of the puzzle might be shaped like. They just want to find it and fit it into the puzzle so that they can have a bigger picture of the puzzle. I have seen a couple times online on the internet when some INTPs or people who say they're INTPs have been really closed-minded, and that really surprises me. I'm really surprised by that, because that's not what I see generally in INTP. I see INTPs as people who are wanting to take in information so that they can make sense of things and really understand. I love it that, or I appreciate the fact that when, if you ask an INTP to help you understand something, they're going to go like deep in it. Okay. And they're going to be able to dive deep. And if you are capable of diving that deep with them, you can really come out on the other side knowing some stuff, having some deeper understanding of some things, because they're really able to do that. Their mind is able to track, basically deeply into a topic, into a concept. And I can't usually, with my like introverted thinking as my, what I would call my demon function. I have extroverted thinking as my inferior function, but if you're a person who believes that we have all 8 functions, then for the ISFP, TI is the bottom of the bottom, okay? And so for me, like, I can only go so deep probably before I'm going to get lost, or it's going to become overwhelming, or I'm just going to lose interest and be like, it doesn't matter, this is way too deep for me. But an INTP can just keep going deeper and deeper and dive and dive and dive and keep on tracking with the information the whole time and come out the other end with a really thorough understanding. And if you're willing to allow that INTP then to take you with them, or if you're willing to glean knowledge from that INTP after they've done that deep dive, you can really gain a lot of understanding. You can really learn some things from INTPs, and that I appreciate also. And I appreciate the fact that I think INTPs, and this probably comes from their introverted sensing, which is their child function, I think that they're really committed to their group, whoever their group is. So in this case, like with my daughter, it's our family. She also has a group of friends that she's very committed to. But I think that INTPs are very committed people. Like their group really matters to them. And I don't think it's just, trying to impress anyone or trying to win any kind of status. I really think that INTPs have a deep care and love for their group. And even though, their lead function is introverted thinking, which is not a group first function, but their parent or their second function is extroverted intuition. So I do think that they care about their group and the future of their group. I think that extroverted intuition combined with the extroverted feeling inferior really makes them a type that cares a lot about their group, about the well-being of their group, about the future of their group, about making their group happy, about bringing their group joy. I think it comes out for some people. Okay, so let me rephrase that. For some of us, when we see the way the INTP thinks and behaves, we might not always classify all of it as having this deep concern and care for and love for and appreciation for the group. But I think if you'll just stop and set aside your preconceived notions of what it means to care about the group and love the group and want the group to be happy, and if you just step back and watch the INTP, and watch the way that an INTP invests himself or herself in the overall well-being of the group. It may not be the way that you would do it, but I think it is so clear in my mind that INTPs are really committed to the well-being of their group. And I think that that is something that we should appreciate. We should appreciate that there are these people who love their family or their group, whoever their group is. They love their group so much that they're willing a lot of times to serve their group, and they're willing to do really like deep dive research into whatever it may be for the betterment of their group. And it may be largely because they're just really interested in the topic, but it's also, I think, born out of real world concerns sometimes. Now, don't get me wrong, INTPs can be total fiction fan people and be totally lost in the fictional world. And that's kind of a quirky and fun trait about INTPs. But what I appreciate about the INTPs that I've seen in my life is that they will lay themselves on the line to be kind and care for and provide for practical needs of their group in a way that sometimes is very, I don't know if I want to use the word direct, but sometimes it's very, look, here's what you need to know. Here's the information that you need to know. It may be divorced a little bit from the ISFP's way of trying to make it all sound, flowers and pretty and everything, but it's information that needs to be said. And at the same time, it's said with concern and care and love. And I know that because they back it up with their actions. They back it up with the way that they are quick to help, quick to step in when there's a practical need and show their concern and their care and their love for their group with the way that they act and the acts of service that they do for others. So those are some things that I appreciate about the INTP. If you are an INTP and you think that I have hit at the heart of some of the better qualities of the INTP, please let me know that. If you think I've missed, let me know that. If there are things about the INTP that you appreciate, whether you're an INTP or not, put them in the comments, because there are probably other awesome things about the INTP that I didn't think to include, and this was not meant to be an all-encompassing video anyway. And if you have an INTP in your life and you want to show some appreciation for them, leave a comment there too. So any INTPs who are going through and reading the comment can be encouraged by the kind things that are being said about INTPs in the comments below. Please, again, these videos are meant to be why other types are wonderful, the great things about other types. So if you have anything you want to say in comments, make sure it's a compliment to INTPs. because that's what we're aiming for here, okay? Because, man, having an INTP in your life, it's a good thing. You want it. If you don't have it, go find one, make a friend somewhere, and you'll benefit, I promise you. Thank you so much for watching. Do please hit like. Please subscribe. I really would appreciate it if you would subscribe. And again, if you could share these videos with, I don't know, sorry, I just got a message on my phone and I just closed it. So if you saw me reach up and do that, that's why. Anyway, so I don't remember what I was saying, but thank you so much for watching and have an awesome day. Bye now.